Welcome to Food, Way of Life from the Law of Nutrition by Master Beinsa Douno, Vegetarian, Part 1 of 2 and Words of Wisdom. The spiritual lineage of the Universal White Brotherhood was founded by Master Beinsa Douno, also known as Peter Konstantinov Dunov of Bulgaria, in 1897. Master Beinsa Douno taught that the qualities of humility, obedience, honesty, goodness, intelligence, and nobility are foremost in spiritual practice. He explained that one should walk the path of love, wisdom, and truth. The Universal White Brotherhood believes that God is in everything, in the stones, the plants, the water, the air, the animals, and the light. Following the principle of Ahimsa or non-violence, Master Beinsa Douno practiced and preached a vegetarian diet. The Master was also an accomplished musician and composer of many spiritual songs and compositions. Today we will learn about the significance of nutrition and how food plays an essential role in our lives, while affecting us in all aspects of our being. We hope you will enjoy these selections from Master Beinsa Douno's book, The Law of Nutrition. Food, Way of Life. There are several sources for man's vital forces: food, air, water, and light. Other sources are his thoughts, feelings, and deeds. Each one uses such food which corresponds to his development. Ordinary people eat in an ordinary way. They take the food and chew it. The adepts only eat air, and some of them only consume air once a month, others once a year, and the most advanced once in their entire lives. They differ from ordinary people in processing their food a long time. There are adepts who live only on light. Most saints and adepts eat food knowing how to draw out their nutritional juices. All the creatures which have completed their development use food which is more ethereal than fruit. This makes them eternal. Eating brings in death through the discharge of the microbes. Each item of food must correspond to the development of a person. According to the degree of his mental and spiritual development, some eat meat, others plant food, and yet another fruit. It is important for a person to know how to eat. When it comes to the evolution of the soul, one will only eat fruit. The food people consume defines if they are going to be smart or stupid. This depends not only on you, but also on your parents, on your grandparents, and predecessors. It depends also greatly on food which your mothers and fathers had eaten, as well as the food of your predecessors. This is a whole science. The way one eats defines what kind of a person he is mentally and spiritually. The process of eating is a sacred act which should be treated with all due seriousness. God never helps people who do not know how to eat, how to breathe, or how to think. Eating is a force which can bring you closer to God. The simplest teaching which you may apply even now is the teaching of proper eating. I advise all of you to get down to the teaching of nutrition and not to think that you already have your path to heaven. If people want to be saved, they must start from the food. The new generation must be created out of fine matter. One brings such elements to his blood as the food he eats, knowing that he must keep his blood clean. because health depends on it, as does his mental condition. The eating habits and the life one lives may provide information on how many years his car, that is his body, will serve him. This also depends on one's reasonableness. One who does not live reasonably is destined to a premature aging. When one gets old, his legs get weak and fail him. Such a person is thus dependent on other people and often becomes a toy in their hands. Education must start from eating. Eating is a divine process. The entire mistake of Eve was that she did not know how to eat. She did not listen to the Lord, but listened to others who advised her to eat the fruits of the forbidden tree. If you eat what is suggested by people, there will always be indisposition and ill mood. There is an internal feeling in everybody which tells them what to eat. You should listen to that. Improper eating harms the good relations between people. The life which we may spend on earth will be defined according to the food of our mind, of our heart, and of our bodies. All the diseases are born of our minds and our hearts. The stomach and soul get sick because we give them bad food. If there is not enough light in one's mind, neurasthenia is already at the threshold. When you study life, study first those elements which sustain it. These are the strongest desires, that is breathing and eating. Knowing the main desires of a person, you can determine his secondary desires. If an angel eats human food, he will become a human and lose his angelic qualities. People start dying in a family, and if you trace the lives of the entire family, of the entire kin, you will see that the reason for the death is due to improper eating. All the miseries are due to improper eating. Whoever does not believe that should, when misery falls upon him, check and see what food had he been eating and continues to eat. This is the only way he can be convinced of the truth in my words. In this respect, nature has been very careful. It has created an abundance of food for everybody and also created suitable food for all different living conditions. If you want to develop the mind, heart, or will, you will have to use the respective food for them. If you want to be an artist, a painter, or a musician, or a scientist, you must choose the suitable food. Through food only, you will be able to achieve what you want. If modern science wants to change the nature of man, it must start by selecting the food. For example, if you live for 1 month only on cherries, 1 month only on apples, 1 month only on plums, a month or 2 only on potatoes, only on wheat or barley, or only on rye or rice, or peas or beans, or kohlrabi or cabbage. If you eat only grapes for 1 month, you will see what effect this will have. All these foods have different effects. Each fruit has specific qualities which are transferred to man. So here's what I say. We get acquainted with the fruit trees with fruit and acquire the respective qualities which they have. We process that material of the plant kingdom. They are better at capturing the energies coming from the sun and process them for people. Our philosophy depends on eating. Your philosophic belief, your religious belief depends on eating. Your art depends on food. If this food is not pure, you won't have a bright mind. If that food is not pure, you won't see anything around you. An artist with a poisoned blood cannot see and paint good pictures. If a musician's blood is poisoned, he cannot play properly. A mother with a poisoned blood cannot raise her children. A teacher with a poisoned blood cannot educate children. Food coming from above gives life. The life descending from heaven aims at transforming the current people. Man cannot be transformed in any way if he does not change his food. Until then, while the wolf eats meat, he will remain a wolf. Food defines character. In order for the criminal to be corrected, he should be given suitable food. If you give a criminal only wheat for 3 years, you will see how he shall change. Benevolent viewers, we thank you for your kind company for today's words of wisdom.